Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Voice Cast. I'm your host, Justin, and with me always is Will.
About time we're back, because today we'll be covering a comparison video between Space Jam and Space Jam 2. And who better to join us on this heated debate than one of the hardest working Looney Tunes voice actors we got on YouTube and Twitter. Sebz, introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is SebztheHedgehog3. You might know me for doing a lot of voiceover stuff in Twitter, YouTube. I do Mickey Mouse and
Meow, what's up, Doc?
Bugs Bunny.
So, gentlemen, what's your experience with Looney Tunes, Space Jam, and basketball?
Looney Tunes and basketball for myself, not much actually. I mean, I wasn't the kid who just, would just marathon everything. I've seen some stuff and it's great, of course, but I've never been the guy to binge everything. Space Jam, on the other hand, the first one, I love it. It's not a good movie, I can admit to that, but it's just ingrained in my DNA, and especially compared to this movie, it is light years better.
I actually grew up watching the original Space Jam in general, yeah, but I never was really interested in basketball, let's just say. Like, I see the sport and it's cool, but I never really been interested in playing it.
When it comes to basketball, I have a very rocky history with basketball, considering my dad was one of those dads that's like, hey, son, you're going to learn to play sports and make your old man proud. And when he finds out that I'm a lanklet who has bad ankles and no muscle mass, and I'm terrible at basketball, he honestly clocked out as a father, mostly. But one of my most prominent basketball memories is we were playing in an off time during religious education class, and this girl who used to bully me, she bullied me into 1v1ing her, and she checked the ball by bashing me in the face with it, then catching the rebound and doing a layup.
Holy shit.
Damn, man, I'm terribly sorry to hear that.
Another way she did it was she handed the ball to me, and then she pulled it back immediately. Like, she didn't check it to me. She tried to give it to me like a present, and pulled it back and pulled the layup and got in my face. And I almost punched her. If it wasn't for my friend Connor, I would have slugged her right in the mouth.
Shit,
Can't blame you.
And when it came to Looney Tunes, I watched a lot of Boomerang before I got into Cartoon Network. And I did watch a lot of Kids WB growing up, so I had a lot of experience with the Animaniacs, but I also had a lot of experience watching Looney Tunes reruns. So when I was old enough to watch Space Jam, I was really excited about it. And I saw Bill Murray was there, and Wayne Knight. I recognized Bill Murray because my mom would watch a lot of those SNL type movies where it has all the SNL actors like Chevy Chase and all them.
right, big.
And I knew Wayne Knight because I watched a lot of Seinfeld when I was a baby. Newman.
Newman. A lot more cultured than me when I first watched it.
I absolutely love the Looney Tunes. They were part of my childhood, and they're still very relevant, and a gem that cannot be besmirched or touched. No matter how many times you try and take it down. Like, for example, with Pepe Le Pew, you can take him down for being, well, I'm not going to say it because it's not right, but he, like many other voices that Mel Blanc did, was a stereotype. He was written as a stereotype, and he's just playing his role, and he played his role very well. Kind of like Foghorn Leghorn, being a fucking country bumpkin idiot while also being kind of a, justifiable guy.
I say, boy, what are you doing over there, son? Stop watching
I
that
say,
anime,
boy, don't interrupt me. I say, boy, don't interrupt a southern gentleman when he's in the middle of his discussion meeting.
My bad, son. Continue, boy.
And when it came to Space Jam, I was overall unimpressed. I liked Lola Bunny. I had a Lola Bunny plush.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because new bunny. Listen, as a kid, most kids have a teddy bear when they grow up. I had a stuffed bunny. So I have a thing for bunnies as, like, plush toys. They remind me of good times. And that's my history with Space Jam, basketball, and Looney Tunes.
Like, now that I'm older, I definitely appreciate the older one more. I mean, like I said, I know it's a bad movie. It's a dumb, stupid ass movie, but there is still some artistry in it. The animation still looks great, and there is still some pretty good wit. Like, I was watching it again recently, and I was surprised there was some genuine cynicism with it. Like, I never noticed before that the early parts where Michael Jordan's playing baseball and he's sucking ass at it, he sits down and everyone's trying to kiss his ass. He's like, "Man, you did great," and it's like, you're gonna get it next time, I can tell you that. And he's just not having it. It's a little bit more than just the angering colors that you're frankly seeing from the new version.
I mean, hell, you also bring up the idea of cynicism, which they had Bugs being the cynical dick that he is, and also you had Wayne Knight and Bill Murray, both people who could be very cynical, very funny characters.
I didn't even realize that Bill Murray was throughout the movie. I completely forgot about his character when I first watched it, and even still, when he showed up somehow in the Looney Tunes world, I was just like, oh look, a guy, a human, a real live action guy. Now I'm like, yo, it's Bill Murray, and he's in this for some reason.
Honestly, it's kind of weird to see that Bill Murray was actually in this, because, I mean, he was just random. He was in there as Michael's friend, but then it's like the savior that will help him win this basketball game.
It's a very Bill Murray thing to do. Like, if there's anything that's Bill Murray, it's that.
And throughout the whole movie, he just really wants to be in the NBA, which is very not Bill Murray.
Nah, he seems like the kind that would be it. And then when he finally gets it, he's like, no, I'm bored.
He's like, nah, screw this. I ain't made up for this. My knees hurt. I'm dead. I don't want to do it. I helped you. Alright, cool. But let me be. I'm gonna go out and retire from basketball immediately. I start now. I don't care. I'm out. Thank you very much. Good night.
Like, there's a scene that I've heard people criticize about Wayne Knight, like, opening a door and he's just like, oh, get your Nikes, grab a Big Mac or whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's product placement, but at the same time, his character is an overly obedient, overexcited assistant idiot. So it's like, I kind of get this idea of he's trying really, really hard to be like, yeah, I know how to talk to the tall black man, me being a short, fat white guy who was on Seinfeld.
And Jurassic Park.
True.
But then another thing with that is, yeah, the Space Jam the Space Jam 2 has me mind fucked right now. The thing with Space Jam 1, you can obviously tell it was there to sell Nike shoes and the Big Macs or burger whatever's and the soda pops. But while it was a shill film, and that is what it is, it's a shill film.
Right.
Space Jam 2 wasn't so much of a shill film, but it was definitely serving out fine wine made out of member berries, like, remember these, remember Space Ghost, remember Galtar, remember the Iron Giant. You like those. You like those a lot. Please buy the merchandise. We beg of you. Said the fucking media mogul company.
You know from the trailers that all the Hanna-Barbera characters and then some of the Warner Brothers characters all show up. And by the end of it, I couldn't help but think to myself, Looney Tunes are not entirely CGI in this movie. There's a decent amount of them hand-drawn. But a part of me could not help but ask myself, how many man-hours went into rendering all these characters that could have been used to keep them 2D the entire time?
Also, how many, I understand that Warner Brothers was trying to show that they had a bunch of HBO stuff and live action stuff, like the Tim Burton Batman and Tim Burton Penguin and all that, but, like, you make the costumes not look good. Like, there was Game of Thrones, the fucking Night King from Game of Thrones and the fucking White Walkers, and they looked like such absolute shit. The money they put into just having those guys go in costume, they could have just put more towards better CG animation. They were like burning money cigars and just putting them out after one puff.
That reminds me of a meme of Daffy smoking a cigar made of money from Daffy Duck's Quackbusters.
The new legacy's a mess. But
New Legacy is horrible.
look, here's my stake on it, okay? Because it's like, I grew up on the original Space Jam, and now I understand it's a shill movie. Of course, me watching it when I'm like 5, I'm going to love it because it's the Looney Tunes, and it's a celebrity who I do know. I wasn't into sports, but I still knew who Michael Jordan was from a distance. The new legacy is going to be that for the 5-year-old in 2021 who do kind of sort of know who LeBron James is and definitely know who the Looney Tunes are. And I can guarantee you that 20 years from now, if they make another one of these, that those kids who love this movie now are going to be like, what the fuck is this 20 years from now? So I'm trying to keep it just in the mindset of, this is a stupid movie, and I'm not every movie has to be Citizen Kane. Not every movie, you have to walk into it and you're like, this has to be perfect, and I need to gain a new appreciation of the medium like that. No, it's fucking stupid, and it's just supposed to promote all of this shit.
Also, if they wanted a more basketball-heavy presence, I can understand why they tried to use women from the WNBA, but most of the kids that you're selling it to probably don't watch the WNBA. So, the Spider Lady and the Snake Lady, you're gonna have some outliers of like, I know who those are. My mom talks about them all the time, and then you'll have a bunch of little kids who are like, who are those ladies?
I was watching this with my brother, and who does know and like sports, and when they were saying like picking out the basketball players to be in the Goon Squad, even he piped up with like, yeah, I wouldn't go for the women first. And speaking of basketball stuff, he tells me that there's a lot of basketball jokes in that me just being a nerd who doesn't like what is sport ball, it just all just kind of went over my head, probably. So I do appreciate that they are trying to make it a bit more balanced than just, oh, it's the Looney Tunes starring Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan did it really well because he interacted with things that weren't there like they were there. LeBron James was not a good actor.
At all.
Who was really not a good actor. Like when he fell.
Spoiler alert if anybody hasn't seen the film. The scene where he was actually going through all of the universes while he was falling screaming. Honestly, yeah, like they actually just recycled the same scream over and over until he's actually falling into the Looney Tune world where they actually decide to make him do it.
I didn't notice that.
Also, another thing that I hate that they did. What instinct led him to, when he gets flattened, what's his first instinct to like being short like that and then knowing to inflate himself by blowing into his thumb? They didn't let that joke sit, which pissed me off.
Yeah, that's something that I do have a problem with LeBron James in this movie. For the most part, he's okay. I can't defend the scream at all. I mean, I'm not expecting much from a fucking basketball player, but it's like, he's such an asshole in this to his son because one time a coach threw away his Game Boy, and he constantly jumps from being this straight edge, yeah, it's all about fundamentals, no video games, don't do drugs, kids, to, oh my god, I'm in Looney Tunes world with Bugs Bunny and I'm Robin. It's like, fucking, there's no arc. Just make up your mind, man.
Yeah.
Just a sudden fucking turn. Also, they made Alfred look like a clown.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, Alfred's in the background, and Will got weirdly, like, obsessed with this bit where it's like, what is he doing there? He's a Batman character, and it's Metropolis.
First of all, it's Metropolis. Secondly, why is Alfred on a bullet train in Metropolis? Thirdly, why is he panicking when it's about to go off the rails when he's the man who trained Batman in the first place? He could have kicked down the door, kicked Daffy Duck's ass, and then stopped the train. Also, one thing that didn't make sense was, apparently with the when they have their little train map, they hit Gotham first, then Metropolis. But after Metropolis, they went to Gotham, then back to Metropolis, then to Atlantis, then to the Hall of Justice or whatever it's called, and then they went back to Metropolis to go into the orphanage. But it's like, why is Alfred there? Why did they do it out of order?
I have no idea.
It's okay to have referential characters to try and make reference to, yeah, we're Warner Brothers, but why did you have to make Alfred look like a clown? And the thing was, at the angle, too, he was center frame. Alfred was in the center of the frame in that instance. Because in the center of the frame was the door. Daffy was to the right. Porky was to the left. Alfred was dead center, which, by the way, a window frame is a frame. So it's a square to highlight. Look here. Alfred's in the center of the frame. Anyone else, if they were looking for obscurity points.
Sebz, you said you loved this movie?
Yep, I am gonna have to say I love this movie. Like, I actually watched it. I liked it. I'm one of those folks that's like, look, I don't care. As long as it entertains me, I'm good. But I can also see a few problems in the film, so... Yeah, it entertained me, but I have problems with it.
Yeah, that's fine. I personally didn't think it was that funny. Like, I didn't laugh too much. There were a few chuckles out of me. But weirdly, the biggest laugh that I got out of it was... So, Don Cheadle's character, who they keep calling an algorithm, but he's not that. He's an AI.
He's an artificial intelligence. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
That bugged me. But it's like, he's warping all of LeBron James's Twitter followers into his server, including 2 announcers, and one of them was saying, like, man, I got in an elevator, and then I got warped. Did I fall down the elevator shaft? Am I dead? that got a big laugh out of me. But it's like, if I'm getting less of a laugh from the Looney Tunes as opposed to this announcer guy, I think there's a problem.
Yeah. Funny thing that you say that announcer's actually, Little Rory, I think that's his name? He actually appeared in the 2021 Tom and Jerry film, where he actually voiced both Tom's Angel and Devils.
Okay.
Interesting.
But we don't talk about that film.
Personally, yeah.
The things that a lot of people prefer the new legacy personality of the characters instead of the original ones. And honestly, that's a really big debate.
They didn't really have much room to be a personality.
Because honestly, for me, the thing is that, remember when Bugs met LeBron when he entered Toon World? Bugs pull out gags, like he attacked LeBron without LeBron doing anything to him. So I can see that a lot of people are like, okay, that's not Bugs, that's just an asshole. And then
okay. Yep. In that defense, to me, Bugs has been the only one there for like presumably years at that point. So I'd understand if he went all Wilson and Castaway on people's ass and he's just so fucking bored that any kind of interaction he was just dying for.
Yeah, like I actually can see that. I'm actually like, he just did it playfully because, he's not going to do it to hurt anybody. Not to mention, as you can see, LeBron can survive that thing as well as any other Looney Tunes. I mean, he pretty much survived, that truck fall and crash. So Bugs was just doing it because, he's happy to see somebody else.
One thing about it that I did get weirdly into that I wish was done better was just Bugs' arc throughout the movie.
Honestly, for me, I actually like the arc because we get to see a side of Bugs that we don't really see a lot. Him being mostly depressed throughout most of the film, and honestly, I found that really cool. And honestly, Jeff Bergman sold me with his performance because, wow.
This movie just needed a little bit more quiet time to make it work and just kind of have us sit on those emotions a little bit.
Let the jokes and let the drama, let it steep. Let it get flavor.
Yeah.
Don't just dip a tea bag and then pull it immediately and say, this tea is delicious. And you didn't even let it flavor. What's wrong?
I mean, they're just a couple of steps away from this working really well.
Comedic timing.
Well, yeah, comedic time. Jesus Christ. there is no impact in this fucking movie. The slapstick sucks. There's no good impact sounds in this at all. Everything feels flat.
They busted their load on impact comedy when they did the fucking Looney Tunes being Looney Tunes when they were showing LeBron James what we Looney Tunes can do.
Look here, Cleveland. We got some way of doing pants around here.
Bugs' arc almost works. Because it's like, I think they focus more on, okay, Bugs is sad that his friends are gone. Like, go all Muppet movie on our asses, you know? Like, have a little bit of time of, I don't know, like, why Daffy's important to Bugs or any of those guys about just like, man, sorry I left. It just felt right. Maybe not Daffy, but you get what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And then, you know, they're all together again, and Bugs is happy, and I feel happy.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you want to stay with LeBron James being an asshole, then show more emphasis on Bugs being like, great, I can have all my friends back, but now all these guys are trying to be like LeBron James. Like, have it more the angle that LeBron is unintentionally stealing Bugs' friends and he's alone again. That way, LeBron giving Bugs the marker back feels so much more impactful because it's like, yeah, this is earned, and it's like, I have my friends back and they're ready to listen. I got chills at that moment, and I think it could have been so much stronger.
Yeah, not to mention, I actually, like, when LeBron actually challenged Bugs, when they were actually in the court, and then Bugs is like, oh, so you're that kind of king, with that really pissed off voice, I was like, oh shit, things is about to go down.
That was a great line.
Wasn't pissed, it was more defeated.
I mean, he kind of sounded like he was straight up mad, like the voice sounded like, so you're that kind of king, huh? Like, he's like, ooh, boy, this is not gonna end well. I mean, even the other tunes were
that
like...
was a good line.
Even the other tunes were like, holy shit. But yeah, honestly, for the most part, I like Bugs' arc throughout most of the film. But I'm like, okay, you have Bugs and Lola here. Where's their interactions? Come on, like, that's what I came here for. Where's the interactions between them?
When are they gonna fuck?
Okay, not that.
When are they gonna do what rabbits do?
No thanks. I'd rather not go to that. Sorry, no. My wisdom rule tells me that's prohibited in my place, so I can't say anything about that.
Personally, I think though also Lola Bunny would have been better if she would have kept her fucking Looney Tunes show personality.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she seems goofy as shit, but then she fucking balls hard on people.
Mm.
You know who I loved in this? Wile E. Coyote was fucking spot on.
Well, yeah, they turned him from a dumb coyote who had a very, very nice membership bonus with the Acme Corporation to a fucking Acme scientist. A full-on scientist.
They just gave him a lot of stuff to do.
That's a funny thing, because Markham D. Lee, the director of the movie, in an interview said that he honestly did not understand Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote's what's it called, dynamic. Like, he didn't understand it because he's like, why the hell are they not speaking? And then when he actually continues to study them, he's like, oh, okay, I get it. And I'm like, oh, alright, I guess he actually wanted to emphasize a little bit more on that, due to the fact that in the original Space Jam we didn't get much of that, so I'm like, alright.
The director literally became a fanboy while making the movie.
Exactly, as long as he actually studied the characters, like, oh, so that's why they don't speak, honestly. And I'm glad that they actually gave Wile E. and Roadrunner justice in the film.
Just recently, I've gotten into this YouTube channel called Headache, which is this guy who does a lot of, over analysis and breakdowns of animated stuff. And one of his videos was, how many times has Wile E. Coyote actually caught the Roadrunner?
Oh, I saw that video!
That was a good video.
Mm-hmm.
And, at the end of it, he says, will Space Jam 2 be the one where they catch him? And when fucking Kronos comes and ties up the Roadrunner in front of Wile E., and Wile E.'s eyes get all big, it's like, this is my chance. I'm like, oh my god! I mean...
Is he gonna do it?
Yeah!
No! I love that scene.
Of course not, but still, it's like, oh my god, there's some... Jesus Christ, he gets... There's such good screen time. I love when... Like, the fucking train thing. Really, Wile E. gave the movie the best bits. Like, him making the train painting and...
Jesus
and the fucking
Christ.
ball machine thing where he, like, splits up and just What have I done?
Yes, I actually when I actually saw the trailer and that scene came up and it says, "What have I done?" I laughed my ass off because it was so
That
well
was the
done.
best Looney Tunes laugh that I got in the movie.
It was so well done. Like, Jesus Christ. I especially also love the scene where Wily and Roadrunner hug when they get scared. That shit had me
Yeah.
dying. But I actually love the scene where the scene you guys mentioned where Wily's eyes become bigger as he's like, "I'm finally eating the Roadrunner. Thank God." Like the face.
Yeah, exactly. This is my chance.
Exactly, the face is what gets me. The eyes going really big, and he was like, "Oh yeah!" Like I died at that scene.
While we're on this, a very slight left turn. Sebz, who's the worst Looney Tune and why is it Sylvester?
I'm gonna say this. They murdered my man Sylvester in this movie. Why you gotta make him dumb? Sylvester's a smart boy.
I don't like Sylvester at all.
Why are you making Sylvester stupid and not remembering who the hell Michael Jordan is? Like, I know he's like 25 years. It's been a great long. I thought he aged gracefully, but come on, man! Like, you're more smart than that. You could have actually, I don't know, checked, but they did him dirty in this film. And also,
really, he's kind of racist.
Yeah, like he's like every black man's the same. I'm like, hold up, just because they have the same name, kind of, and they're black doesn't mean it's the same person. What? Also, here's actually the thing. This is the only time in canon that Sylvester finally ate Tweety.
Even though Tweety should have been like long dead, because she'd been in there for like how many
Yeah,
years?
I'm quite shocked he hasn't been dead yet. And I fucking love how he's like,
What year is this?
Oh yeah, that's right.
but I'm like, okay, this is actually the only time he's actually eaten Tweety and got away with it. Like, when you think about it, this is the only time he's done it and actually got away with it for how many years or months that's been.
When it comes to the performance of the Looney Tunes, like I said earlier, they're pretty box standard. They did nothing special with them. But I hated all the references that they were doing just for the sake of references. Like making Granny Neo and Speedy Gonzales Mobius. Why? And of course they had to make Lola Bunny go to become a fucking Amazon.
Man,
I mean, honestly, that one, honestly, I don't really mind Lola being an Amazon, because honestly, it fits her due to the fact that she's kind of been portrayed a few times, like, as Wonder Woman, so I don't find that out of place, but Granny and Speedy in the Matrix world, I found that a little bit weird. I'm like, are you also trying to give Granny, like, she's no longer an old lady? I mean, we already knew that, so, I don't know what to tell you there.
yeah, I think that they have been trying to like modernize Granny by being the whole, oh man, Grandma's old, but she's actually cool and spry, and she's saying all this meme shit. Like, what?
Sipping martinis at halftime. Oh boy.
That's a personality.
Also, why the fuck does Rick and Morty did not need to show up? Because you have Rick and Morty show up, but you make them say something PG like dum-dums in a show where if Rick ever called someone a dum-dum, he's normally making fun of someone, and he follows it up with like a egregious insult.
So isn't that kind of in character then?
No. He would probably call it like a fucking stupid R slur animal.
I mean, this is a guy who does go from my brain just died on me.
Good try, sport. I blame Space Jam 2 for that. Trust me, my brain is failing me as well.
Well, I mean, we're a voice acting channel, so let's talk about that a little bit. And I think all the Looney Tunes do pretty well. I mean, these are guys who've been doing their voices for now many, many years. Like, Jeff Bergman has been... The way that you've told it, Sebz, is that he is the go-to voice for Bugs, except that Warner Brothers wants to, like, spread out the character to other voice actors, right?
Well, here's the thing. Warner Brothers does not want one person to voice all the Looney Tune characters because they don't think a voice actor can have that much power, and I consider that bullshit due to the fact that they actually have Eric Bauza voice almost 90% of all the Looney Tunes in Wall of Mayhem, except Tweety, Porky, and Sylvester Jr. who are voiced by Bob Bergen. So I'm like, so for games, you're gonna have one voice actor voice all of them? I mean, I can understand that, but for the movies, but I think Bob Bergen's probably the only one that's voiced Porky continuously in pretty much every production they have done. But sometimes he's replaced by Jeff Bergman for a Boomerang promo or Eric Bauza for A New Legacy. So I found it kind of weird that they didn't want to go with Bob for A New Legacy. But Eric did pretty good, not gonna lie.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of good stuff. Eric Bauza is such a prolific voice actor, and he hasn't been doing it for very long. He's been doing it for about 15 years now. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of just whatever to him, because it's like...
I feel the same for Eric Bauza as Daffy Duck than I did as Billy West as Donald Duck.
Donald Duck?
Donald Duck?
I mean, Daffy Duck.
Wow.
Sorry, and I also meant D. Bradley Baker. My brain is
Dude,
tired.
are you okay?
This movie tired it out my brain. D. Bradley Baker and Bauza, pretty one and the same, really.
Yeah, I mean, Bauza is a great impersonator, but I'll never really see it as much of anything until he has, like, a single character that he can call his own. And he's got the Looney Tunes, that's great, but there's nothing, especially since, like, there is such a Rolodex of Looney Tunes voice actors now that it's like, what is it? His most recognizable roles that are original are Tiger Claw from the Ninja Turtles cartoon from Nickelodeon and Foop from Fairly Odd Parents. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie, comparing Eric Bauza to D. Bradley Baker, the one that's more spot on is Eric. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the reason why I like Daffy so much in this movie is because of Eric Bauza's performance. Like, for me, Eric is probably the best voice of Daffy we've gotten in years.
Okay.
No offense to Jeff Bergman, who I like as Daffy, but Eric just sounds...
Or Joe Alasky.
Or Joe Alasky. I just feel like Eric sounds the closest to Mel. Not to mention he can actually do both versions of the character, you know, the crazy Clanted version and the Chuck Jones greedy version. So I'm like, okay, this man is probably one of the few people that can do these two takes of Daffy really damn good. Like, he's been practicing this for, I don't know how the hell he's been doing this, but he's been practicing the roles really well done. Like, I'm impressed of how this guy really knows all of the Looney Tunes characters. I mean, he grew up with them, but damn.
I mean, I just assume that that's just how voice actors start, is that they watch something...
Impersonation.
Yeah, just watch Looney Tunes and just do impersonation. That's literally how Billy West got started. When he was a kid, he did a contest to sound like Mel Blanc, and he just did it. He just let these guys have it because he was so pissed off waiting on the phone for so long. And they were just like, fuck, yeah, you got the job. You're on the radio. Our show is about comparing the voice actors of animated characters. And the problem about that is that, of course, that'll lead people to say, yeah, do the Looney Tunes, do Hanna-Barbera, do whatever. But the problem is that everyone starts with the Looney Tunes. You know, everyone starts with trying to do a Fred Flintstone impression. And the top is always going to go back to Mel Blanc is the best. So it's just trying to compare these, like, 10 guys, give or take, who have been practicing their voice their entire life. And it's like, what can we honestly say about these guys?
Yeah, I feel like the only thing we can say is that they're really good impressionists.
Jeff Bergman, I do like because it is a little bit different. The voice is a bit more down to earth, which I do thank the Looney Tunes show for doing, because it's so distinct, but it still is Bugs Bunny. You can hear Jeff Bergman much earlier on during the 90s and the early 2000s. He sounds exactly like Mel Blanc, but he eventually moved away from that to do a Bugs that I do honestly enjoy a lot.
He puts more personality in it by, instead of just portraying Bugs Bunny as his static personality, just the snarky cynicist who's always quick with a joke, and once he says his joke, cue in comedic timing, or the schmatzel gets what's coming to him. But Bergman did give him a lot of personality. He gave him a new dimension to Bugs Bunny. A more reserved type personality, which Bugs Bunny, when he's not being wacky or goofy, he is quite reserved. He's the type of bunny that would rather stay in his rabbit hole, eating a carrot, reading a newspaper, rather than going out and just doing something chaotic like Daffy.
I thought I was actually the only person that enjoyed Jeff Bergman's performance as Bugs in the Looney Tunes show, because when you actually see people compare, they're like, this is not Bugs at all. I'm like, bitch, this sounds like Bugs. This sounds better. What the hell are you talking about? This is Bugs Bunny. This sounds like him. Like, it doesn't sound any different like him. I'm like, he still has the British, the Brooklyn Bronx accent. You can still hear it, so what the hell is your excuse?
I just imagine just these haters just in a dark alley, and all of a sudden Sebz just fucking pushing them against the wall, just like, listen, you motherfucker. Don't you understand what this guy is trying to do for you people?
Exactly.
So, are we going to address the Lola in the room?
Yeah, I wanted to do this. Okay, so in the original version, Lola is voiced by Kath Soucie, or Susie. I don't know how to say it.
Me neither.
Kath Soucie.
I've heard it both ways, and this is a very prominent voice actress during the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Most prominent, I believe, doing Phil and Lil in the Rugrats.
Mm-hmm.
And she has an iconic voice that can get a bit ubiquitous, but it still is. Lola's not an interesting character, at least in these movies. She's a lot better in the Looney Tunes show, but in the first one, she's just the sex object.
She is basketball. She is the daughter of basketball. She was created for basketball, so she is basketball. She is basketball incarnate. Basketball chooses to identify as a female rabbit. Literally no other conception other than we need an iconic female, so let's give a foil to Bugs. And then Basketball and Bugs had a child, and that child was Lola Bunny. It was a thought baby.
Right.
Kath Soucie did okay. I still prefer Wig as my go-to Lola Bunny. Kristen Wiig did a very good job of her in the Looney Tunes show. Zendaya Coleman.
Girl.
It's a seductive sounding female.
Not even. I think that Susie's a lot more seductive sounding.
Yeah.
Zendaya is just talking, and I fucking hate that. That's something that we brought up, is just a celebrity just doing a voice that's just, here's a guy, here's a girl, whatever, give me my paycheck. And it pisses me off because I heard that Susie did record all of Lola's lines for this movie, but they were like, let's get a celebrity. Let's get MJ from Spider-Man into this. And it's like, she adds fucking nothing. I mean, granted, Lola has no personality in this, just like how the 90s version, she's a cliche sex object. Here, she's just a cliche
strong female protagonist. Respect my authority.
Huzzah. We talked about this in our Hades versus Hercules video, and celebrities do not make good voice actors.
Voice actors make great actors. Actors do not make good voice actors.
And I don't even get it. I don't get how this could add much of anything to this movie particularly. I mean, yeah, sure. Zendaya, Jeff Bergman, Eric Bauza are in the opening credits scene during the whole crawl with LeBron James, like, kicking ass on the court.
Thank God.
But it's like, the poster still says LeBron James and Bugs Bunny. Like, they know who they're marketing to because that's what the original did. What is Zendaya honestly adding to this at all, except for adding her own networking?
I mean, she voiced 5 things. One of them is kind of noticeable, question mark? In Smallfoot, which I think was like a cheap Hollywood movie. One of those ones where, like, how the fuck did they get all these top-rated actors to make such a mediocre film?
I've actually heard it's not that bad. I haven't seen it, though.
It's mediocre. It's good, but with its competition and what it's trying to do, yeah, no.
I actually would have wanted Kat to actually reprise the character again, because the thing is that she actually voiced Lola in a non-seductive way in New Looney Tunes. So I'm like, you could actually use that voice for Lola in the movie, so, like, everything's all good, it's all good. But no, cast and Daya, because, we gotta have celebrity voice actors voicing this thing, because if not, it's gonna be a box office failure, and we're all gonna die, and Warner Bros. Is gonna go bankrupt or something.
I would argue if they would have put in Kristen Wiig from the Looney Tunes show as that Lola Bunny, they would have not only gotten more out of it, because, they'd have a Looney Lola, but Kristen Wiig is more well known than Daya, really.
It's just that I found it kind of weird that they didn't have Kristen reprise Lola for the direct-to-DVD movie Rabbit's Run, and well, actually, no, for the game I know why, because, she's a comedian, she might actually be like, you gotta pay me a lot more. But I'm like, for the movie, I'm like, you actually got Fred, Amron, whatever, as Speedy, so why you couldn't get Kristen for Lola? Even though Rachel didn't do a pretty bad job in the film, like, I actually kind of prefer Rachel than Kristen. It's probably me.
Wait, when you're referring to Speedy, you mean Speedy in the New Legacy?
No. In Rabbit's Run, where Speedy was actually, and in the Looney Tunes show, where Speedy was voiced by Fred Aaron, some I don't remember his last name.
It's that. Yeah, it's that Muslim comedian that got big on SNL. He's probably not
Fred Armisen.
Exactly, that him. I'm kind of shocked they actually got him for Rabbit's Run, but for Lola they didn't get Kristen back. So I'm like, what was the problem there?
Contracting.
Probably could be, but honestly, Rachel didn't do a pretty bad job. I actually like Rachel. And just that wasn't actually Rachel's first time voicing Lola. She did voice her on the Scooby-Doo and Looney Tunes game where you create your own furry OC and do stuff. Guys, can we actually talk about Gabriel Iglesias' performance as Speedy?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. I was
absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I loved it.
Jesus, this is probably the best Speedy voice actor I have ever heard. Like, honestly, I actually speak Spanish too, so seeing that a Spanish person actually voice character, I'm like, bendito, al fin lo hicieron, Jesucristo, gracia. That means thank you, Jesus Christ.
It feels right at home.
Yeah, it does fit really well. But what I also love about this is that he was prepared for cancel culture.
Yeah, like, he had his big boy pants on. It's like, if you dare touch my boy, we're gonna have a fight to the death. Because nobody touches Speedy Gonzalez. And then said, why? Because the things that Mexican people love the hell out of Speedy.
It's also there was the thing with Mario Odyssey. Everyone's like, "Oh, Mario's wearing a poncho and sombrero, and he gets it in a place that's supposed to be like Mayan Aztec land." It's raised like, no, it's pretty accurate. It's like, hombre, it's accurate. We wear sombrero because it's really hot and it protects us from the shade. And ponchos are a staple when you're anyone traveling the desert because it keeps the heat off of you.
Exactly.
Because it's hot in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Sebz, since you are Spanish, I sent you the tweet that Gabriel Iglesias did. Do you want to voice act your way through it?
Sure, why not? I mean, I don't know if I can actually do a pretty good Speedy Gonzalez voice, but I can try.
Eso haré, hombre.
Oh, here it is.
Arriba, hija.
Well, it's actually pretty short, so it's cool. Alright, here we go. Do you want me to say in Spanish or English?
Do it. Can you do it in Spanish?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Spanish. Alright, here we go. Soy la voz de Speedy González en la nueva película de Space Jam. ¿Esto significa que van a tratar de cancelar a Fluffy también? No pueden cogerme ni cancelarme. Soy el... here it is. No pueden... Oh, God. Let me try. I'm trying to translate it.
I was just asking if you could do it. I didn't know if you could do it on the fly or not. You can do it in English if it's easier.
No. It's just that...
He did it damn good.
Yeah, that was good.
He did it really good.
Wait, I actually want to...
And it's very close to
I actually want to
Speedy.
finish the last sentence where he says, "You can't catch me, cancel culture on the fastest miles of Mexico." I want to do that one.
Okay, go ahead.
Do it.
No me pueden coger, cultura de cáncer. Bueno, cultura de cancelar. Soy el ratón más rápido de México, de todo México. Ándale, ándale. ¡Hija!
I
love that. That was great.
That was great.
Like, this is actually the first time I've done Speedy.
Hey, who knows? Maybe now you have a little inspiration to do a Speedy comic next.
We'll see, honestly, because I actually haven't seen a lot of Speedy Gonzalez comics, but I'll see if I can actually find one of them and dub it.
The funny thing is, all the controversy behind Speedy Gonzalez is like, there's no controversy behind him. Sure, he's a poncho and sombrero wearing Mexican mouse that runs really fast. But here's the thing, he's often the hero.
Exactly, they're not...
He's a good dude with super mega fast powers. It's like Apu from The Simpsons. Oh, Apu, he's an Indian stereotype. He owns his own business. He's a great father. He's the apple of every woman's eye in Springfield. He's a Harvard-level math genius, and he's a vegan.
Yes, welcome to my house.
5 really good things, as compared to the entirety of The Simpsons, where you have Angry Scott, Drunk Irish, Drunk American, Dumb Sea Pirate.
Pretty much.
Really, really racially depicted Polish Jew.
Yeah.
All right, I just want to dial this back away from The Simpsons just in case.
Oh no, that was all I was going to say on the subject.
Okay. And it's so funny with Speedy where it's like, once again, the only people who had a problem with him were the white people, and all the Mexicans were like, no, he's cool, I like Speedy.
Exactly.
Although, I have no idea why he's not in the original Space Jam. He got canceled in 99. The movie came out in 97?
96.
Like, you take out Speedy Gonzalez, but you have the squeaker mouse?
Oh, God. Please, let's not go talk about...
Why?
Let's not go talk about Snibbles, please. Please, for the love of God. Even Chuck Jones did not want to talk about him. Well, I mean, honestly, I don't mind Snibbles, but Jesus Christ, his shorts were so boring.
Alright, it's so weird. I mean, granted, I could totally understand why Slowpoke Rodriguez was taken out.
Soy el ratón más lento de todo México. Hola, Speedy. Oye, Slowpoke Rodrigo, ¿por qué no te vas a, no sé, por allá? Ok, me voy.
That was a pretty natural interaction. Very good.
Thank you.
Was that on the fly, or is there like a line?
That was
that you
actually
read?
on the fly. Like, I actually was trying to find anything.
God damn!
Yeah.
You were made for voice acting, my dude.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna go walk 25 miles with my slowpoke legs. But I'll probably
I didn't understand a single word, but it
dehydrated.
sounded coherent to me, man.
Yeah, honestly, speaking Spanish is really hard. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If you're trying to learn Spanish, it's gonna be pretty hard.
If you're trying to learn Spanish, don't.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to,
Confirmed from a real Mexican.
if you want to, of course, by all means, do it. But it's gonna be pretty hard to nail those accents really well.
See, I have a distinct hatred of the Spanish language.
Jesus
because
Christ.
This is a personal story. In middle school, I was top of my class in learning French, and I could have been a competitor, like for competitively interpreting and speaking French, and I could have gotten a scholarship. My high school lied in the language courses that they offered, and I had to take 2 years of Spanish, which made me forget all of my basics of French,
Damn.
and it was bullshit and stupid.
Oh, shit.
So Spanish ruined what could have been a fucking easy diploma for me.
Qué pena, amigo.
My Spanish teacher hated me in high school.
Mine hated me because I was white.
Damn.
She hated me because I clearly did not care to learn and I slept through all my classes. We had a word of the day where it's like every student like raise your hand and pick it up, say a word, and that was going to be on the test. And I was the asshole who raised his hand and said, "Mierda."
We had something similar, but I said huevon.
So my teacher immediately backpedaled. Was like, "Oh, okay, that's not gonna work." Anyone else?
No, it's because you actually said a bad word in Spanish. You said shit.
Yeah, I know. I know I
joke.
said a bad word. That's why it's funny to me.
Yeah, I actually found it kind of funny because she's like,
Oh, no, este pendejo no puede decir esto. Se puede ir para el carajo y otro más.
I just sweared in Spanish.
Okay. What did you say?
Oh, no, hell no. He doesn't know Spanish. This son of a bitch can go to the fucking nowhere.
No, like it's like you can go beyond whatever the fuck you want to go there because we don't want to see.
Now you can go further beyond.
I saw her in the halls the following year, and I went up to her and I asked, "Hey, did you miss me in class?" No hesitation. No.
In her mind,
Este cabrón me tiene molesto. No quiero volver a ver otra vez jamás en mi clase, jamás.
Get this little autist away from me.
it's like I never want to see this motherfucker ever again in my class.
I still can't get over fucking. They got Don Cheadle to voice Algorithm. See, Algorithm was such a forgettable villain, despite being in your face. It had to rely off of it's Don fucking Cheadle to even for anyone to give a shit.
Yeah, he's not good. He's not interesting.
It's not Don Cheadle's fault. He did his damnedest, and Don Cheadle does his damnedest.
I actually found Algie pretty funny, but also kind of unlikable. I mean, a villain's supposed to be unlikable, so. But yeah, I'm like, he's fine. I mean, yeah, it's fine.
Also, the leaps in logic of the whole fucking video game aspect made me viciously aggravated. Look, I understand you want to make fucking like video games a thing, but the way the shit that 12-year-old kid is doing, that's not programming. With what he's doing, he's basically using RPG Maker, but for like or the Unity engine. He's not actually programming his own things. He's using a logic software from something else. The most he's doing is just making really flashy renders. Like, the technology we have cannot do the shit that he's trying to do. And, but it's got Looney Tunes and stuff. You gotta have some... There's a level of betrayal of expectations that I could give before it just does not make fucking sense. Oh, his character did the move, so it caused a glitch that caused the... No! Because if you understood what you were doing, you would see why the code would fuck up before it even executes. Usually glitches like that happen when there's a bad interaction, but there was no interaction because the character was just doing the move. It wasn't in reaction to anything.
Can we talk about the ending for a second where, spoilers, Bugs Bunny sacrificed himself by doing that move, and it's like, whoever uses the move is a glitch and will die. He doesn't actually die, not that I'm surprised by that, but it's like...
He's also not code.
Right, he sacrificed himself by this movie's logic.
For nothing.
He doesn't even make the fucking shot!
Yeah, by logic, the shot should have 100% activated, where the whole game is supposed to literally freeze up, but suddenly people are not freezing up. I upgraded it! If you upgraded it, it wouldn't be a glitch in the first place, stupid. Also, if it was a collision-based thing, when Don Cheadle jumped on LeBron, Don Cheadle would have phased right through, or glitched into him, killing them both.
You know, in this movie, where LeBron James is supposed to be the one to help them win their freedom or whatever. Did anyone else notice he only scored 2 fucking baskets?
Yep, only twice.
Like, at least the first movie understood how a fucking montage worked, and like they actually had it decently paced where it's like, Bugs made a couple of shots, Daffy made some shots, Michael Jordan made a decent amount of shots, to show that he's actually in the game instead of just being like, what is this weird computer video game thing? The last thing I remember is Pong.
I also hate how the Looney Tunes just suddenly forgot the rules of basketball when LeBron is like, hey, show me how to play basketball. And then they look at the thing like they are all some sort of level of stupid.
Okay, you got weirdly into this bit.
Like, Lola Bunny was made for basketball. And even she's looking at the thing like, huh? Yosemite Sam was on the original Space Jam team. Shoot the ball, Sam. Bang. He knows how to fucking make hoops.
I mean, you have to remember that that it's been 25 years since the original film, so I can't blame them if they actually forgot to play basketball. But the thing's that I'm like, if you don't remember, then how the hell did Granny could actually make that pretty impressive move of dunking?
Also, you kind of, once you play basketball once, you kind of understand what's in a basketball, how to do the basketball thing. They also knew who he was, so it means they had to have known who LeBron James was, which means they would have had to have watched basketball, which means they would have been able to at least know, oh, dribble, throw.
I'm gonna have to agree there. Like, Jesus Christ.
It doesn't make any sense.
Not gonna lie, this film has a lot of plot holes.
They're trying to retrofit the original one, but at the same time, they're also trying to make reference to it because, haha, look, it was a thing. So it's a really fucking confused message.
This is what's hard for me. It's that all my things that I think could be fixed, give or take, would just turn it into the original Space Jam. And that's not fair. Like, this should be by its own merits for what it is. So I don't really know what to say about it. It's not good, but meh.
Having a villain named Wet Fire is not it, fam. This is not it. They could have come up with a better fucking Firewater. That would have been a cool name, Firewater.
That's better.
You
What?
Firewater's it's a joke. It's another reference to whiskey. They call whiskey Firewater. Makes more sense than Wet Fire.
Okay.
Because the word wet. Now, see, they wanted to say that, his moves are fire, but no one ever says, yo, man, these beats are fucking wet, son. What the? I said, but someone, if I made music, someone said my beats were wet, I'd look at them like, are you insulting me? Most of the time, when something's compared to wetness, it's usually, like, not good. If your moves are wet, it's like, your moves are soggy and sloppy and all over the place. Like, what leap in logic? Also, if fire is commonly used as a thing to say things are good, wouldn't the opposite of fire mean something's bad?
Am I the only one who noticed that Wetfire did not use fire at all? Like,
He did.
Wait, he did?
Yeah, he did plenty of times. He created like a bunch of fire to disorient people. He turned it to fire to run through Gossamer and burn up all his fur.
Oh, right.
He did it to intimidate LeBron James. He turned into fire frequently, but also the whole going from a form of fire to a form of room temperature water. I'm surprised he wasn't fucking exploding from pressure.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Firewater. The one that's stupid as hell, though, is the bird guy.
Anthony Davis?
Yeah, because in this video game where you have super jump pads that can launch you up like 20 feet in the air, what the fuck is the point of a guy who could fly?
Also, the name The Brow. That's the best you can come up with?
Oh, is it like a pun on the cowl? Like Batman?
No! His name is Brow because Anthony Davis has a fucking borderline unibrow. He's like 3 eyebrow hairs away from having a complete unibrow. And because his unibrow looks like a bird in flight, they gave him wings to fly.
Is that what the commentary is on him? Is that his unibrow looks like wings?
Fucking eyebrows. That's the joke. His big eyebrows.
Man, basketball's stupid.
And here's the thing. Fucking, they could have come up with a fucking they could have made a Larry Bird joke.
Eh.
They could have called him Blue Bird, because Bluebird and BYRD, Larry Bird, one of the best white basketball players of all time, but it's Anthony Davis. So it's a basketball joke and a bird joke. It makes sense.
And they wasted it.
They wasted it. Something I appreciate about the original is that, and I only notice this now, but the Monstars are designed like the players that they're stealing their powers from. When I told it to my brother, he's like, well, no shit.
Well, here's the thing. Not at first. I mean, sure, maybe in core design, but when the Monstars were were the little Monstars, you could still see who they were going to be, but it was more amalgamous, and unless you were really, really looking for, like, oh, hey, that's supposed to be X, Y, or Z, the big reveal was, oh, now that makes sense. Now, with this, it's just word for word.
Right, exactly. They just use the CGI models of just these basketball players in order to make the Goon Squad.
And under that, I feel really bad for Diana Taurasi. Because by adding the snake-like features on her already, like on her like overall look,
she's just perfect now.
They really just took her face and stretched it further, so it's almost like a fucking muzzle. Why would you insult her like that? Like, Jesus Christ! See, with Anthony Davis, the brow is at least a nice, like, cheap shot at him and his eyebrows, but are they saying she's a fucking snake face? Is she saying that she has the sharp traits of a snake?
Yeah.
That's kind of backwards. That's really fucking backwards to say to someone.
Yeah, I just noticed this. It's besides Anthony Davis, like, the only ones that have these, like, so it's like, you got the Wetfire guy, you got Kronos, and Anthony Davis as the Brow, who is, like, the first two are, like, they're not, like, physical things. Wetfire's, like, elemental stuff, Kronos is time, and even still, Anthony Davis is a bird that's still majestic and cool. Oh, it can be. The design's ugly as sin. But the two women are fucking terrifying animal creatures.
Furries.
Yeah, no offense to furries though. We love you all. We think you're cool. Don't worry. We don't want to offend anybody. Like when I was ranting, about people hating Jeff Birdman as Bugs Bunny.
You must be new here.
Don't worry, I don't hate you. It's just that I'm kind of like, I might not agree with your opinion, but I don't hate you. I respect your opinion, man. Furries, I also like you too. Be yourselves.
Right. But basketball players, you could die.
Yeah. I mean, Arachnica, that looked pretty spot on and looked really good. Also, I also find it, I'm not sure if this was the intent, but okay. For those of you who either know African, certain African mythology, or those who even liked Static Shock growing up, there's an African mythologies, or most African mythologies, it's a conglomerate of different things. But there is one called Anasazi, and he is a spider god and a trickster god.
Oh, yeah.
So they turned Arachnica, who, that's a very African-sounding name, and I'm pretty sure she is of African descent. Her being a spider makes a lot of sense. And they made her design really fucking good. They put in more effort than fucking White Mamba! Like, they really must have, like, drawn straws over who's gonna get the good interpretation, who's gonna get fucking... Like, if you look at Klay Thompson, Wetfire looks better than Klay Thompson. Maybe it's just a bad image of Klay Thompson, but holy shit. This is not a good picture. It's not a flattering picture. You look at Nneka, good picture. Damian Lillard, good picture.
We need something for the intern to do, and no one wants to try to draw the Snake Woman. Let's just give it to Franklin there and just see what happens.
For Wetfire, they improved on his face because Clay Thompson's face is very wide, so they slimmed it down for Wetfire and made it look like a more favorable human-shaped face. Same thing with Damian Lillard. Well, Damian Lillard, the 1-to-1, perfect. Naneka, 1-to-1, good. And then you got Anthony Davis and Diana Taurasi. It's like, well, damn, you don't have to fucking go hard on them like that. God damn, dude.
Are there any words for the Porky rap?
Well, Will, you want to go first?
I'm not gonna lie. I watched it with him, and he was so fed up by that point that I was afraid that would have been the straw that broke the camel's back. So I just played the first few seconds, and then I just skipped to the end.
Yeah, he hated it. He hated it. He wanted to. I think he actually wanted to break the screen.
Fucking cringe!
There he goes.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna go say my opinion on it.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
dude.
Okay, I honestly, Eric Bauza has got some bars rapping, not gonna lie. But I actually gotta say that his rap as Daffy, that's actually not in the film. Damn, I mean, wow.
Honestly,
Yeah, there's actually 2 raps that were not in the movie. Daffy's, which is of course Eric Bauza, and Al G rapping against Daffy. And then after that, LeBron will go and say the Porky Fry, blah, 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 and then the Porky rap happens.
the pork crap.
You know, a rap with Porky stutter sounds kind of cool on paper, though.
Yeah, I made that joke when you were telling me, because he remixes himself.
Yeah, I actually found that pretty neat.
But that's not what happens. It's just he does that and then that's it. It's just
He does it once, and then he speaks perfectly throughout the entirety of the rap.
Exactly. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Aren't you supposed to be stuttering, bro? And then when he actually says, that's all false, that's where he actually goes stuttering again. And I'm like, okay, that happened.
There's a reason why in Parappa the Rappa, when you do punch, kick to punch, kick, 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 you get more points than just saying punch, kick, duck.
if someone can make a good original Porky rap with stuttering, I'd love to hear it.
Pretty sure there is one out there.
Yeah.
Also, looking at BTVA, the funny thing is, everyone on the favorite character poll, out of all 17 results, Lola Bunny's in the lead. And Penelope Pussycat's there, but she didn't do anything?
Wait, she was in the movie?
Apparently!
Wait, that's the cat that...
Pepe Le Pew.
And he's not in this movie.
No, he got canceled for being a fucking sexual predator.
What the fuck?
Also, they're not called Monstars, they're called Nerdlucks.
No, that's what they were called originally, and then when they're transformed, they're called Monstars.
Yep.
Ah.
Speaking of the controversy with Pepe Le Pew, my dumb ass here was like, okay, didn't you guys see New Looney Tunes where he was actually a spy? So I'm like, and there he doesn't do anything that he does in the shorts, and it was honestly pretty cool, not gonna lie. I'm like, so why didn't you go and make him a spy again? What the, like, why couldn't you just do that? Like, you wouldn't have any problems with it.
Originally, he was just a stereotype joke on French people.
Penelope Pussycat isn't even on BTVA yet. If at all.
Yeah, and it says, choose a character. Lola Bunny, 7 votes. Penelope Pussycat, 2 votes. Daffy Duck, 2 votes. Bugs Bunny, 2 votes. Speedy Gonzalez, 2 votes. LeBron James, 1 vote. Velma Dinkley, 1 vote. Excuse me, why?
I want to preference that Velma Dinkley has no lines in this movie. She's a background character. But it's like, I just love the power of how much nerds love Velma. Velma is our most popular video where we go down the list of voice actors for one character. Besides that, it's our One Piece video that no one likes and our Mike Pollock interview. All right, have we tried the well on Space Jam?
That was already a dry well, hombre.
Yeah, me too. I mean, if you guys want to talk about the soundtrack, but
I don't have much to say. Like, to me, it's just dull rap. Like, you can't beat "I Believe I Can Fly" and "Come On and Slam." You know,
yeah, or "Pop Out the Jam," man. "Pop Out the Jam." You cannot forget about that one. Or "Buggin'."
It's iconic, man. You can't beat that.
Yeah, but
or at least I'm not much of a rap guy, but it's like all rap just feels like just snore.
I mean, for me, the soundtrack in Space Jam: A New Legacy, for me, I liked it. I mean, honestly, I might go controversial here, but I kind of preferred it over the original. I mean, that's not to say I don't hate "I Believe I Can Fly," because come on, who hates that one? I love that one. "Welcome to the Jam," "Pop Up the Jam." We love those ones, and I love them, but I kind of like A New Legacy's newer songs. Like, I'm like, these are pretty good. I actually really like the Going Looney one when Tweety's against fighting Anthony Davis. I don't know, but I'm jamming out.
Okay.
Space Jam turned my brain into Space Jam.
You know, if you have a kid and you're okay with them just seeing Looney Tunes and some anger and color on the screen, then I'd say, why not? You might turn them into a fan like I am with the original.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting a Citizen Kane. Do not expect that you're getting a Citizen Kane. If you just want an alright movie that looks good, then I'd say do that.
My thoughts are, if you like basketball, watch it. If you're there for the Looney Tunes, you're gonna be disappointed. If you're there because it's Space Jam and you're blind on nostalgia, get fucked.
Well, for me, honestly, I like both films, and I kind of prefer a little bit A New Legacy. I mean, that's not to say I hated the original, really. But there's just a few things that I like in the newer one, like the voice acting, and the animation by Spike Brand, because Jesus Christ, Spike Brand, you're my hero in animation. But honestly, I liked both films. I kind of like, as I said, A New Legacy a little bit better, but I still like both films. They're not good. Like, really, they're not masterpieces. They will never be good. They're just catch grabs. But overall, if you want to have a good time, I suggest you watch the first Space Jam film. If you want to watch A New Legacy, by all means watch it. But just know that it's a lot different than the original.
They're in no way, shape, or form the same.
Yeah.
If I have to choose which one's better, the first one offends me significantly, majorly less than the new one. So go watch the original. This one offends my soul.
You can hear him that he's actually dying inside. This poor man's dying inside. I can't see him like that. It's hurting me.
Inside, and all I see are demons. I try to hide all my deepest feelings. I love Pink Guy. I miss Pink Omega.
And Sebz, where can people find your stuff?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram as SebztheHedgehog3. I'm mostly most active on YouTube and Twitter. I'm really active in Instagram, but I'm not gonna post the same things I actually post in Twitter and there. Probably if I think it's actually something good. But yeah, I'm mostly active in those three sites.
And you can find us on our social medias at /RealVoiceCast. Odds are, if you got a social media, we got one on there. We got Facebook, we got Instagram, Twitter, you name it. And, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what you guys thought of these movies. Did you prefer Space Jam 1 or Space Jam 2?
Also, who's your favorite Looney Tune and why?
And why is Sylvester the worst?
Damn, what you gotta do me dirty like that, man? Come on now.
I call him like I see him. I've been Justin.
I've been Will.
That's all, folks.